Banana and Bears Rugby Pod.
Welcome. I'm jumping in because all sorts of machinery could fucking fall apart in us here. So welcome to Banana and Bears Rugby Podcast, coming to you live, well, semi-live, alive from, I don't know, once again. If you listened to last week, you would have gotten the cryptic vibes. I've been getting cryptic messages the last 3 fucking days now from Anna, and
Hang on now, there's a massive Ram 500 passing. Okay, he's gone. Right.
that's a 4x4 pickup for anybody. It isn't a male sheep walking, which would be amazing.
Yeah.
So
you'd see plenty of them if you were where I am, which Tom doesn't actually know yet, even though you may have worked it out by now, or some part of the world.
I'm all over the map now because some fella that was served you the most ridiculous looking drink, and I'm here drinking I won't give out. I'm drinking Barry's. Big shout out to Barry's. They're not sponsoring the podcast or anything, but we will take sponsorship if they're willing. So the first picture you sent me it wasn't you, but it was some woman feeding a hen down on a footpath.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what business?
Mm-hmm.
What first I was thinking, what kind of a place is she in now that's feeding hens on the side of a fucking footpath? Yeah. And then I noticed there was English writing in the background. So I'm like, what in the name of God? And then you started sending me pictures of a skip with a Mickey drawn on the side of it, which, to be fair, I appreciate. Do you know what I mean? Love it.
I knew you'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
But also you asked me to send you cryptic things like that, not to give game away. But basically that, people draw Mickeys on skips no matter where you go.
This is, it's universal language. It's fantastic. And then you sent me a picture of yourself happy out. But I was trying to look over your shoulder to see, was there something there? I was getting right CIA about this stuff. It was kind of, I don't know if when was the last time you seen The Bourne Identity? But that's the way I was. I was like calling in a team, like enhance the photograph. It was getting like, something tells me you weren't trying to be that cryptic. But
no, where's the picture of me?
There was a picture of you happy, just a big happy head in you. Just send me a picture.
The one I just sent you now, earlier. Do you not see it in the background?
No, not. Oh, sorry. No, I did see that one. Sorry. Did you send? I don't know where I'm after leaving the fucking phone, but the hen one threw me the hardest, to be honest with you.
Yes.
And then you left me a voice note saying you were off to Cuba. First of all, no, hold on. First of all, you're like, well, and it sounds like you're literally on the fucking sitting on the roof of the Orient Express. It's like, oh, this fucking train just ominously fucking honking its horn in the background. What the fuck is she? Mm-hmm. She at the Thomas the Tank Engine fucking fair or what? And then you're like, I'm off to a cigar museum.
Thank you.
Right.
It's just Jacob checking if Margarita was all right.
So there's a white fella called Jacob with an American accent serving you grub and drink now. And then you sent me a picture
about blackberry margarita.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Blackberry margarita. Anybody listen to this now, I can only apologize. Midweek, you're listening to this scutter now. And it actually, Anna she was struggling to find a place cool enough, fucking cool enough, that wasn't going to melt her device out in the heat. Yeah. That's for the most people listen. Yeah, Krabby's
Krabby's Hideaway has proven to be the spot because it's 28 degrees. And if my phone explodes and I get stuck here where I am, then that's like RIP to me. Because I was saying that I'm at the beach, but there's no public transport here whatsoever. So I had to get an Uber out. But so I have to get an Uber back, so I need my phone. So my phone explodes, and I'm genuinely done for. But
so then you send me a picture of you with Hulk Hogan. So you have to be in Florida.
Oh, yeah,
are you in Florida? Are you in Florida?
I'm in Florida. Well done.
Holy shit! Are you in Clearwater or one of those places?
I'm in Clearwater town. How do you know about Clearwater? How funny is this? We were talking about Hulk Hogan last week.
Yeah, it was amazing when I saw it. I went, fuck, that's not real. And then I thought, because I've been in Clearwater. I lived in Florida for a month.
Oh my God. Random.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God. I'm in Tampa.
Well, I was in I was up in Clearwater, all right, but I was in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, class.
So
Where did your J1 there?
I did, and my fucking J1+2, I shouldn't have fucking been there. I should have gone home. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I built an extension onto the end of my one. I went for an owl.
There's actually wanted signs here for you.
Yeah.
They actually, you could actually, maybe you are Hulk Hogan.
You know what? The moustache is about the only similarity. That's where it ends. I don't think I've ever partaken in that many steroids. It's just wouldn't be me. It wouldn't be me. So what in the name of all in Jesus are you doing in
So
Clearwater?
I must give a huge shout out to listener Dermot O'Malley, who is in on this as well, because I coached with him last summer, and he coached at a tournament here in Tampa, Florida last year. But kind of a good problem to have. His daughter Ava has made the Irish under-18 squad, and that's also happening this week. Alas, he couldn't come to Florida, so he asked, would I be interested in coming? Some coaching a rugby tournament here this week.
Jesus Christ Almighty, Capeless. Like, do you...
So, shout out to Dermot.
Shout out to Dermot.
He thoroughly enjoyed the cryptic clues as well, and he was laughing away because he obviously knew what was going on. And best of luck to Ava. And I also must give a shout out to he does brilliant work in Killarney Rugby Club, and two of the under-18 and the under-16 girls are into a Munster final this weekend, so I must give them a big shout out as well. So yeah, so fair play to Dermot, and I'm in Tampa, so it was very last minute. And I came from Le Mans, so this is why I cancelled my bicycle trip, so I could go from Le Mans to Paris and Paris to the States. So yeah, here we are.
Capeless, if you stuck your hand into a bucket of shit to come out with a Rolex on it, you're unreal. Like, you never get offered play. Like, there's nobody asking you if you want to go to fucking Scunthorpe or fucking Swansea for a weekend of fucking like.
Yeah.
What?
The problem is I'm broke from rugby, but I'm rich in experiences. The problem is when you have to come to somewhere like here and you're still broke. I'm fucking like it's so expensive here. Like, it's so expensive. And the tipping is like breaking my heart. You have to give like some fella, like, you know, he's in like your order, and then you have to give a fucking like $4 tip. So but I won't, I'm not complaining. I just it has floored me slightly, ever so slightly, how fucking expensive it is here. And now, given that I left it so late, it'll cost me about $50 to get back to Tampa. But can I tell you about the place I was yesterday with the roosters on the street? There's
I'm going to have to pull you up there just for a split second now. I'm going to have to pull you up there for a split second. You first of all,
quick
you
now
left
before I phone explodes, because we got to talk about the Women's Six Nations as well.
Yes, but your voice note that you left was one of the most privileged sounding fucking things I've ever heard in my entire life. It was so. Tom,
yeah.
Listen, I'm down at the beach and it's fucking roasting here. So, you know, I mean, I don't know if I even get my hands on a fucking daiquiri or whatever the fuck you were drinking. But so I'll try and find maybe a beach hut or something. I'm like, what the fuck? And now you're cribbing. Tom, I'm broke to the ropes. Your man's after landing on another blackberry fucking margarita to you. And everybody listen to this. Is horsing blocks up onto a scaffolding or fucking.
But the margarita is cheaper than like renting, you know, a co-working space. So, you know, I prefer the margarita.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
But yeah, this is Tampa's so cool. There's this little town called Ybor, which is called after the Spanish fella from, I don't know, centuries ago, who basically made Tampa like the biggest cigar manufacturing city in the world. And what he did was, so it's obviously loads of like Latino immigration around here, and Italian and Spanish. And this Ybor guy had the idea that if you moved to Ybor to like make cigarettes, that you could buy your own house, because it was very difficult to buy a house back in those days. So all like the cigar makers moved here, and all these factories for cigars popped up. It was so cool. I love learning like things like that, but that was my thing that I learned yesterday that I thoroughly enjoyed. So yeah, bought myself 2 cigars.
Good stuff. You're
So
not. You're just speaking of last week's podcast and Hulk Hogan. Actually, something just popped into my head. Sheamus,
yeah,
that wrestler. That wrestler. He lives in Tampa. The Irish wrestler.
really?
Yeah.
Come
All the
here.
rest. Loads of
Actually,
wrestlers
one of
live in
the other.
Tampa.
Oh, really? One of the cryptic clues I meant to send you was like I was cycling through the park last night, and all of a sudden there's a little thatched cottage called the Four Green Fields.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
I'll send you a picture of it.
That sounds really familiar. Excuse me.
Yeah. Man,
Come-
there might be a few Four Green Fields around. There might be 5 or 6 green fields. Lol.
Well, by Jesus Christ.
Anyway, we need to talk about the rugby because which is a shame because there's plenty more things I feel like I could get into. America is just nuts. So we might have to leave it till next week when I'm not in like
Yes. In 30-degree heat, you know what I mean? Supping them fucking margaritas, like it's a killer. Yeah, I get it. It's a lot to fucking take on.
It's very, very tough. But come here, did you get to watch any of the rugby at the weekend?
I only got to see the women's game, and I got to see the first half, but I had to take off to Dublin again for a corporate gig. So I got to see the first half, and it was funny what you'd said. It was literally like the writing was on the wall. You said it out loud on the podcast. It's in the zeitgeist. You talked about the forwards training. You were like, well, fuck me. Their maul was immaculate. The French maul was immaculate. The Irish girls were, they were going toe to toe with them. But as soon as the maul formed, it was like Transformers. It was honestly, it's like Optimus Prime coming together. It was like, oh, for the love of nobody has any way of stopping this because it's perfect. You could tell they trained their whole off doing it, and that was the huge difference.
Yeah, yeah. Which we knew, and it's a shame because Ireland weren't getting in the air at all. They weren't pressuring them, and they should have. But like with Sam Monaghan out, they kind of lost a bit of line out leadership. Maybe they should have been putting under way more pressure, but they knew as well they had to be on the ground to try and defend them all. Because if that maul gets going, you're fucked. So it's kind of a catch-22. Like, what do you do about it? Do you stay on the floor and hit it with everything, which didn't work anyway, or do you get in the air and if they get the ball, you're fucked anyway as well? So hard to know what to do. But yeah, like the Irish girls, like I felt really hopeful after. With great crack, by the way, because I was there.
Yeah, I saw it. It looked,
brilliant.
but it sounded great crack too. Like it sounded like there was a good vibe at it.
Oh, like, do you know, like being down in Marseille, like it was cool to be at both games now. So down in Marseille and then in Le Mans, which is, obviously not a rugby town, but it's really cool town. Because the stadium, the stadium is called Stade Marie Marvin. And like, it's not for rugby, it's for like lots of different sports, multi-sport, whatever. Beautiful stadium. But like Marie Marvin, she was like this old, like, feminist figure in France who basically succeeded at like every sport and like paved the way for women in sports in France in that
that's
region.
A cool
so it's
touch.
Really cool to have it there. Yes, really cool. And then like, do you know, down in Marseille there was like the pyrotechnics, like the flames, the fireworks, the like flags for everyone, like free flags, like it was all the same, like all the same stuff. We were like screaming, the fireworks were blowing up right in front of our faces, like it was fucking class. Like they spare no expense there, in terms of like holding them to the same standard in terms of like entertaining the fans. And it shows. Like there was over 15,000 people there. It was great crack. It was freezing. It was so cold. And I didn't bring a jacket because I was like,
I'm off to Florida.
One day.
I'm off to fucking Florida.
Exactly. I'm not bringing my fucking puffy jacket to Florida. Like, so I'll just, I'll be grand. I was so cold. Even the people with coats were cold, so it didn't make a difference. But then, like, we, just before kickoff, or there was still about 20 minutes to go before kickoff, we went up the back and we were just looking in. There was people inside in hospitality, and we were like, I wonder, could we go in? Walked in, no one stopped us. People saying hello to us. In we went, warmed ourselves up for half an hour, ate meats and cheeses, then came back out and sat down. We had beer and all. I was raging then when I had to pay for my next pint. I was like, sake. should have been inside in hospitality, but that was great crack. And then like the game itself was very good. France scored a try after like 2 minutes. Like that maul got going after 2 minutes. And like Bourdon Santos, the number 9, like she's so good. She ends up pinching the try then, like from the forwards. It's so funny. But
she's a hardy bit of stuff, like, that one.
Unreal, unbelievable. She could. Yeah, she'll definitely be one of the players of the tournament again, like always. She always is. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, kind of after 2 minutes, you're like, oh Jesus, like, is this going to be like, the theme of the day? Is this the start of a snowball of tries for France? And like, to be fair, the Irish girls, their fucking defense was very good, not without flaw, but certainly a huge improvement from last year. They didn't have too much opportunity in attack because they were kicking a lot to try and kind of pin the French back. But next week now, like coming into next week, which we'll talk about in a bit, like I feel like if they can just get a bit more on going in attack, it'd just be really nice to see, because I thought it was just a brilliant defensive showing from them.
I did, yeah. That was something that kind of stood to me. It stood out. I was like, fitness-wise anyway. I mean, because defense requires some amount of fucking fitness, not just physical, but even mental fitness. There seems to be there seemed to be a level of confidence in it. Whatever's been instilled in them, it's almost, like the men's is like, all right, come at us. Like the end score, 38-17. I mean, okay, I think there was probably 3 or 4 by Maul that I don't know. I can't see any, but maybe England might have the cattle to stand up to. But I don't think they'll have the organisation. Maybe they will towards the end of the tournament or whatever. But they just look so clinical at Maul time, and it's exactly what you were saying last week, that no matter how fancy rugby gets, if you got those two stuck together, and it's hard. It's hard to tell anybody what to do. You can't drop the thing. They'll give you a penalty try. You can't. There's no answer for it, really. There's no answer. But I loved that there was dog. There was just seemed to be dog in the girls, and they weren't backing down from it. Like there's times when you kind of go, oh, Jesus, she could drop.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. That's all you wanted to see.
That's all. That's all I wanted to see, was just a little bit of dog in them, just a bit of violence. Like, no, let them know you're there. And in fairness, France, barring the mauls that were immaculate, it was a ding dong. It was a ding dong, because for the purists, you go, this is some great defending. I was proud. I was happy for him. You know what I mean? It wasn't. You wouldn't walk away going, that was a hiding. It fucking wasn't. And it did. It could, as you said, it could have been a long day at the office looking at the 2 minute in. You're like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, which it wasn't at all. And like, even in last year they only scored 3 tries, one of which was a penalty try.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, all I wanted to see was a big improvement in defense. Some bright shining stars in some of the players, like some of the young players, and even some of the current players. And then score a couple of tries, give them a reason to celebrate something on the pitch, like put something together. And they did. They scored 2 tries against France. Like, I think that's really promising, really good. Like, and they were able to cheer and shout. And then we were cheering on the sideline then as well. Did you see the photo? Do you see that photo that was going around of us sitting on the sideline?
Yeah. Brilliant.
The heads on us, the fucking heads on us. It was so funny, because I was saying this on the other podcast I do. Sorry about that. That
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Do you know when? So I learned this in touch rugby. If you put down the ball, or if you're not sure, or if you think you did or you didn't, it actually doesn't matter. Get up and celebrate and run away.
100%.
Like, get up and start, like, don't start looking at the ref. It just really, like, and all of the Irish girls did it, even though I think if it was for Lfe Ever's try, she must have been sure she got it down. Like, tell him, yeah, I got it down, and celebrate and high five and run away, like, as confidently as you can. Even if you think you didn't, do it anyway, because if there's any, if the ref or the TMO is like borderline and cannot make a decision, if your body language was so certain that you scored it, you might be able to fucking change the decision or the outcome. And I was saying it to, like, Nora, who was sitting next to me, and I was like, right, when this comes up on the screen now, we all get up and start celebrating, okay? And they came up on the screen and like we couldn't see a thing and we all just went, yes, like really kind of suddenly as if we'd seen something.
Yeah.
And 2 minutes later, she awarded the try, and like we hadn't seen that it was grounded at all. So we were like, yes, we helped, like saying, like obviously taking the piss, like we were like, yes, we totally influenced the referees to sit in there. You can see everyone behind us, all the French people behind us are laughing because they were like, they knew what we were up to because they knew we hadn't seen anything because they couldn't fucking see anything either. So it was great crack. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend now. Italy are coming to town. Italy played England. Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, I just wanted to just reiterate what you were saying. How it was a great showing, but it was also it was a home game for France, and Ireland didn't go away. That's what I love. Is that they didn't fucking go away. Like all I want to see is a fighter get off the mat and just swing one more fucking punch. Like that's all I want to see, and they did. They cracked in another couple of tries at the at the date, and you can kind of go, yeah, but sure, France are taking the foot off. And you're like, yeah, but it was in France. With 15,000 more or less French people screaming at him. They'd all the pyrotechnics, they'd all the bells and whistle. They've some pro girls playing as well, and they stayed in the fight. That's all I wanted to see.
Yeah, same. Yeah, agreed. Till the last minute, like we were celebrating, we finished the game on a fierce high. There was great crack as well. They put the lyrics to Freed from Desire on the screen just after full time. And the whole stadium was like, my lover's got no money, he's got his strong beliefs. Like, it was so cool. Like, it was great crack. Like, I thought it was hosted brilliantly. I thought Ireland played really well. I thought France could have probably maybe been better, but also that was down to Ireland's, defensive pressure and rattling them a small bit. So, like, I just thought it was almost in a way, it couldn't have gone any better as a first step for Ireland Six Nations, because I think like even Tricky in the post-match interview, I still haven't seen this actually, but she cursed in the post-match interview. She said she used the F word. Yeah, fair play to her.
She used the F word. Like you haven't been fucking blinded through the whole podcast. Like
sorry, as if I was trying to use the F word. Oh Jesus! She said the whole fucking team apparently, but which I actually think was a great strategic move, like in terms of like getting exposure. Even though I haven't seen the video since, I was like, oh, that'll definitely be like reshared and stuff. But she said that like, and a few of the players like messaged and stuff saying they could hear us singing on the pitch.
Brilliant.
We were sure. I remember that. I remember when I was playing. I think I said this to you before, and like said this on the podcast before, that my least favorite moment in rugby ever, like. That my least favorite thing about rugby is just this mental battle just before I play, and I'm there, like especially in big international matches like that. It's like, okay, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit next week, and I'm never gonna play again. And I hate this so much, and I'm not good enough, and just big imposter syndrome, like very strange feeling taking over of like. Basically telling yourself you're not good enough and you have to fight against that. And it's obviously very irrational. But one thing I always said was like, Anna, you will get to sit in the stand someday and enjoy it. Don't be wishing for that.
Yeah.
Because, that will come. Like that, you'll get to do that someday. Don't be looking for that tomorrow. Don't be looking for that next week. Like that'll come when it comes, and don't be wishing this away. So now, like, I'm fucking, I'm trying to accept obviously how shit my Irish career went. So I'm trying to enjoy this part of it now, that and support the girls. And I loved it at the weekend. I really enjoyed watching them now, I must say.
Anybody go to Anna's for just a lovely little vloggy moment? Like you put together you great to put together clips for highlighting, I suppose, the vibe of a weekend. And Anna, from her time in her weekend in Le Mans, Le Mans, go have a look at that on her Instagram. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely.
Great.
But yeah, I mean, England, I mean, as we know, England, they're all pro, and they took Italy to the cleaners. Like they weren't at the races with them at all, Italy. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Nobody knows what's going to show up on it.
You say that, but actually England didn't turn up so well, and Italy kind of put in like an almost Ireland-esque performance. Like they really pushed England. Like in the first, it was scoreless after 30 minutes.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
true. Yeah.
After 30 minutes, the tries did start to roll in. So, and England are a step ahead of France, certainly at the moment anyway. They just, that battle of, going to Parma and knowing that you're definitely going to win. Like, what do you do about it? Like, how do you perform then? So Italy are to be credited. Like, Italy are very good. But I actually think this could be Ireland's biggest chance to win, to take a fucking win, like next weekend in Dublin. I actually think they could really do it, because they're kind of, this whole nothing to lose thing is very valuable as well, whereas Italy have a lot to lose.
Of course, yeah.
So it's in the RDS next weekend. Like, people should fucking go to it, because it'll be great crack. And like make a good crack. Like, you can bring your friends and get pints and go and enjoy it, because like this team, it's going to be a long road. It's not like, next week they'll start winning and then that'll be it. No, like, Scotland are very good, Wales are very good. Like, it's going to be a long road to recovery, almost, is probably the right word to use anyway, to recovery from, like, in terms of Ireland's women's rugby status. It's going to be fucking long. But like, if you get stuck into it now, like, it'll be fucking worth it, when it really starts to turn right. So yeah, that's my word to the listeners. Like, go to the match, will you? And let us know if you go.
Don't be a late to the bandwagon person. Like the people. I've been a fan for years. You're like, really, you're the fella shouting things like "Rog." These people at the match. Don't be that. Go. It's the RDS. Pop up the road, pints and your pals. It's going to be good crack.
And what's nice about it as well is that it's at a stage where people are very familiar with each other. So like, you can chat to everyone and you can connect with people really easily. Like, you can meet the players afterwards, and it's at a stage where it hasn't gone untouchable yet. Like, it's not like the men's games now where like meeting the men's players is such a dream, or like, like, I remember this bunch of lads came to one of our matches in Gloucester, a bunch of old fellas, and we met them in the bar afterwards. They're like, "Oh, you're the players. It's so lovely to meet you." And we had a great time with them, and we were chatting away, and they bought us drinks, and they said they loved the match. And one of them was saying to me, "I'm actually still in touch with them. Actually, I feel like Damien could be a listener." Right. Shout out to Damien if you're listening to this. But like, he said, like, they've been going to the men's games for years, and the men's games used to be like that, where you could have a pint afterwards with the players, and small crowds, and very, big connections with people around you and with the team and everything. And he said if that was the first time coming to that women's game that day in Gloucester, was the first time he felt that in years, because that's the stage the women's game is at now. So he was like, I'm delighted that I'm involved in supporting the women's game, and we had such a great time with them, and we're still connected, so fucking don't wait till the bandwagon starts to get busy. Get on it now and get your seats up the front.
Yeah, because you can be that person. Before they were big, I was really into them. Like an indie band or something. Like, before the Coronas got big, you're
Exactly.
like, no, I saw them in the Sugar Club lads years ago. It was class. Got to have a couple of pints with them even.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be.
Absolutely.
Okay, before your phone blows up, I must give a shout out at that corporate the other night. Somebody recognized my voice. 2 people recognized my voice from 2 different podcasts that like, that were never under my podcast. It was this one, big fan Derek, shout out. Another guy, God, I forget his name. It was either Seamus or Brendan. It was another podcast that I've appeared on.
He doesn't listen to this podcast, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly, but he was Derek was big fan of Banana Bears Rugby Podcast. Shout out to Derek. Great. He offered me a pint. I was driving, would have gladly taken it. But to be fair, after hosting a thing for 2 hours straight, my voice is ready to fall out from my ears, if that's a physical thing that can happen. But yeah,
was it a corporate comedy game?
It was, yeah. It was a corporate. It wasn't straight stand up. It was me kind of roasting everybody and having a bit of crack and stuff like that. They don't really hire me for the corporate the quote unquote corporate thing. Really, they hire me, and then they go, oh, because this guy does that and he kind of roasts people. That's that's why we'll hire him.
Yeah.
They don't hire me to put on a tux essentially and host, the insurance awards or any of those things. They don't know. They don't hire me
Right,
for those.
right.
I'm not one of those guys. Um, Also, I think we need to say a prayer for both Bundyaki and Jemison Gibson Park after the
Oh
weekend.
Christ! I saw
Yeah, I don't
they're
think.
digging up Peter Manny's garden. What's the story there? What's the deal? He must, sorry now, he must have been getting a new turf or something. Like
Oh, for
there's
sure.
no way.
For sure. He'd be, I guarantee it. Well, why he does it every year. Sure, he puts in about 4 inches of sand every year and then aerates it with this 10 grand aerator that we used to use for building golf courses. Like brings in golf course gear. But
Jeez.
also too, yourself, like even if there's a precious thing, Bundy would never have done that with the spade if it was just him over the house. But when there's 30 lads, and also Pete can't really jump up and say it because he's like fucking invite you cunts over. And then bad
Yeah.
enough, then Jemison Gibson Park comes flying out of nowhere on one of those fucking electric bikes and starts fucking pulling skids across the
Yeah. We will.
yeah.
We keep them in our prayers.
We keep him in the prayers, yeah, because it was quite funny. It's funny that O'Mahony actually posted and went, really glad I invited the lads over. But somebody was like,
Definitely.
that's
No,
too
there's no
that's
way.
too far now. That's too far. So somebody was like, yeah, yeah.
Fuck, that's hilarious. Fair play.
Uh,
Quality. People enjoyed it anyway.
yeah, well,
So
exactly.
no more word about if he's retiring or not.
What's that? No more word, what?
If he's retiring or not.
No, I was speaking with somebody today, and the same guy, he's from Cork, of course, he's very Cork, and he went to Christians about 75 years ago, but he always reckons he has the inside track on anything to do with anybody Cork based, and he thinks
Right.
Peter's going to South Africa anyway. That was the opening of the phone call, and he's involved in comedy. I was Peter's going to this what? Oh
What?
yes, as in Peter, he'd know Peter like Peter, I was like, oh, Peter O'Mahony is going to South Africa. Okay. But he says it'd be a perfect sign off for him, to go down and beat them bastards down there in South Africa. It's like, okay, I will take your word for it. So clear.
What
The
does the
inside.
money in South Africa?
What's that?
There's no money there, really. Would you be
I
better off going to France or maybe he
no,
likes it
no,
down
no.
there?
He means he's going on tour. He'll go on. No, no, no. Oh no. If Peter O'Mahony was to play on anywhere,
Signing
then
for the Sharks.
the last thing he's
Oh
going to
my
do
God,
is get
no
the
chance.
living shit beaten out of your body by going to play in South Africa for
No
about it
chance.
1/10 of the money he'd make in either France or Japan. No, 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 no. He'll go on tour. He'll go on tour to South Africa for the 2 games. And sure, look at he'll go down and fucking win down there too, and fucking shove it up them bloody fucking South Africans. And that
I
was
love that.
yeah. That was the official line anyway on the proper Cork. By the way,
Yeah.
I just need to just clarify. You don't own a Christmas tree farm by any chance, do you?
Not that I know of.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up because my comedy club, The Hill, which you've been in, somebody followed it the other day called Anne Capeless, who owns a Christmas tree farm in Skeehey near Rinky. So there you are.
No.
It's only over the mountain
Okay.
from you, so in all fairness, it's probably a relation of some sort.
No. Excellent. No, it's not me. No. What a shame. I'd love one.
Yeah,
Well, actually, no, I wouldn't.
no, you wouldn't, because you'd
No
have to
fire.
tend to it at some point and not jet
Yeah.
off to coach at fucking tournament, run a tournament in Tampa. My God.
Get off to Clearwater Bay. Yeah.
Do you know what?
Or Clearwater Beach.
Annika, that actually sounds like the starring in like, one of those daytime sitcoms in America called Clearwater Bay, and
Yeah.
the star of the show is Annika Police. She's Dr. Ferreira Ramore. She specializes in hearts and brains.
Oh, yeah. I prefer Galavana.
Galavana, fucking Ferreira Rocher Galavana.
Dr. Galavana, we've got an emergency. No, I can't make it. Sorry, I'm not around.
I'm off to Le Mans for the weekend.
I'm in Le Mans. I'm in
Anyway,
Tampa.
I want to sign off the podcast correctly because I don't want your phone exploding and you not being able to actually make it back to your apartment. This
Yeah.
has been lovely. I felt like we've been under the cosh to get this fucking done in case something dies on belonging to you, and you're just left, supping fucking daiquiris or whatever it is you're supping.
Yeah.
So yeah, Italy next weekend, and please God, we need one win, as you said, to make it. Is it one win? It's all we actually need from the Six Nations to get into the World Cup.
Yeah, and qualify for WXV too. But
Jesus.
But Scotland beat Wales, which is
I know. Sorry, yes,
result.
Huge result from the weekend.
Huge result, which kind of goes to prove that, I kind of thought that Wales would be much stronger than usual, and like it just goes to prove that whatever grade you're in WXV doesn't actually quantify how good you are, because Wales have been playing in WXV1 and Scotland have been playing in WXV2. So Scotland, beat Wales like just about hung on, but like the first time in 20 years or something like that, and the first time ever in Wales. So they're on a roll, and I actually feel like, even though, I don't know, we'll see. Let's see how kind of next weekend goes. It's hard to tell even. Do you know, even after the first round of the men's game, we were like, we still don't really know how good we are or how bad France are. Also, did you know it was a complete reversal of the scorelines of Ireland-France men's and women's game?
Yeah.
And isn't it just so telling that we're like, God, wasn't it great? Whereas France were absolutely ripped to pieces by that scoreline. So, you know, that is one thing. And I spoke about this and I wrote about this and stuff. Like, there's no point us being like, God, isn't this great? Like, we still have to be very realistic in terms of like, this is only great because of how shit it became. Like, we don't want to be celebrating a loss. And like, to be fair, talking to the girls after, like talking to some of the players, like they were fucking disappointed, and I was like, well, good. There's no point you playing for Ireland and then being happy with a 38-17 loss. Like you have to be like fucking ambitious. And I was really glad that they were a bit like, fuck it, like a bit frustrated with things not going right. I was like, well, good. That shows your ambition and like you're kind of, that you're not just happy to be there. That's really important, because I feel like that can creep in sometimes, that you're just happy to put on the jersey, take the photos, and whatever result happens doesn't matter because you just played anyway. So yeah, was happy with that. So sorry, that was just something else. There was so many other things I wanted to tell you that I was like, oh, this would sound great on the. Did you look at my story about your one and the yoga?
No, instructor? No, what?
You haven't been looking at my stories because you didn't. You go and look at my stories, but just in case the listeners don't get a chance to see it because it might be gone by the time this goes out. This morning I went down to get my breakfast, and I was just sitting out like watching a yoga class, and they're like digging into my breakfast like fucking like a slob. But I was like, fuck, I'm on my holidays, and I was watching them all. And the yoga instructor was doing these like crazy moves, and like all of the participants were like falling over, and like, but she was very nice about it. She was like, just try it, very yogi-esque. And like
American.
They were, I'd say they were sweating, doing all the moves. Like, it was very enjoyable to eat my breakfast bun while watching on. And then at the end, I could just hear her being like, and now, because she has like a little microphone. She's like,
"Do you need another margarita?"
No, I'm good for now. Thanks very much. I will. Thanks a million. That's Jacob.
Okay. Do you need another? I'm sorry. Would you like another margarita? Hey, Jacob, you wouldn't tip in and put on the fucking kettle there like goodbye, will you? I'm fucking gasping.
20 berries tea. I was telling you about the yoga. I was telling her at the end of the yoga instructor. She was like, I could hear her on her little microphone being like, let's take a moment to be grateful. And I looked over, and she's actually like strumming a guitar. So she was actually started to play the music. And I was like, oh my God, that's so gas. And I was writing to my friend, or I was voice noting my friend to explain to her how funny this was. And then all of a sudden, your one starts singing. And they're all lying on the ground, like in their moment of gratitude. And she's walking through all the people lying on the ground, like singing a song on the guitar. It was fucking very funny. I was like, a lot of people responded to my story being like, this is so funny. But I was like, it is, but like, it would definitely be me if I was the yoga instructor.
Yeah, but yeah, you'd have your ukulele, you'd be singing something partially filthy, like, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't. There's no way you would
Seriously
have
more.
the Irish nerve to expect Irish people to lie out on the grass. I mean, perish cold and fucking wet for one on the fucking grass.
Singing the pogue. It'd be called poga.
Poga, yeah. Well, okay. Well, if we're wrapping up on woo woo. Well, no, it's not woo woo. It's actually very heartening and very exciting. I was in. Have you been to it in Cork called Marina Mart? I was there for the first
Yeah.
time. On
It's class.
Sun. Yeah, class. Fuck, I had heard and heard and heard, and I was like, yes, I will definitely. And we did. We went down there with the dog and everything on Sunday, and it was far cooler than even I expected. It was
Mm.
very cool. Um, people and I put up about there was what a spot or whatever, and there must have been 2 dozen people go. You got to go to this poulet vu, the chicken place, and I was kind of stuffed at that stage. We'd eaten from like 3 different spots. Oh well, all right.
Mm.
If 2 dozen people had fucking told me to go, so I queued up and they weren't wrong. The shikeen was gahauling, gahauling. Oh my lord, it was
Unreal. I haven't had that yet. Do you know what I would say about Marina Market? They need to make smaller options because
yes,
the food is unbelievable. But if you want to try loads of different places, they could make good money off that as well. That's what I'd like to do, is get a little bit of something everywhere. But what you end up doing
yes.
is like getting a burger and then like chopping it in half or chopping it in four, so that people can share and taste different things. So
Well, that's what we did. It
that
was
would
kind
be
of
my
a
suggestion.
family meetup, and there was like 12 of us for a finish, and that's what we did. We tried a bunch different of each other's. But I was saying the exact same thing, and Natasha was saying, wouldn't it be great to have a taster option at each one? You know, get
Exactly, yeah.
a slider from that over to that, get a wing there and a rib
Did
there.
you get the burger?
Did I get a burger? Yes, I got it. Where did I get?
Burger with like a slice of black pudding in it. Holy God.
No, I did not get that. No, I did
Unbelievable.
not. I did
Oh,
not. I got
unbelievable.
some
Yeah,
shawarma stuff that
that's
was,
on your list now.
yeah, that's on
Oh,
the
yeah.
list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Ta
Okay.
yes.
It's time to get out of here before they recruit me to Scientology. So if you don't hear from me next week, you know what happened.
Okay, well, yeah, we have 2 shows with the great and powerful Gerard Farley and Aidy McQueen this weekend in the Hill. So
Oh, brilliant.
what a show! What a weekend this is going to be. Um, enjoy your tournament. I've no, you haven't talked once about your tournament, but you can tell me all about it next week when you're back in the land of somewhat reality.
Yeah, absolutely. All right,
Right.
mind the rocks.
Mind the rugs.
It's the Banana and Bears Rugby Pod.